Hey everyone, just wanted to create a quick video to walk you through the new Synthetic Yields app. So what I'm showing on my screen here is the mobile view. I like to use this on my phone. And just as a tip, if you are opening this up in Safari on an Apple iPhone, you can click on the up arrow button in Safari like you're going to share something, and then you can pin it to your home screen, and then it will look like an app, just like any other app on your home screen, so you can easily access it from your home screen. And then if you're on an Android and you open this in Google Chrome, I believe once you go to this website, there'll be a pop-up that says, do you want to install this app on your phone? And you can make it look like a native mobile app on your phone. So just a side tip there. So you'll see these different tabs we have across the bottom here. On the desktop, they're across the top or on the side. Now, the first tab, this Aurus watch list, if you go to this About This app, this explains what is on the Aurus watch list. So this is kind of a pre-screened list of stocks based on these criteria that I find are helpful for finding Aurus trade ideas, because they tend to weed out lower quality stocks and companies that are too small that might not be liquid enough, so we want it to be greater than 2 billion, for example. So just read through that. It could change over time. I could modify this a bit, tweak it a bit over time, so just refer back to that About This app page. It also explains what the weekly stocks tab and the weekly ETFs tab is. It's basically, in the weekly stocks, we're showing pretty much all stocks that have weekly options. Not all stocks have weeklies. A lot of stocks only have options once a month, but there are a growing number of stocks where the CBOE is issuing weeklies. So in the option change, you can see them pretty much every week. There's an expiration. And then the weekly ETFs tab shows the ETFs that have weekly options. All right, so let's go back to this Aurus tab. So you can turn on and off the filters because they do take up quite a bit of space on the page. And so this will help you narrow things down further. So let's say you have a small account and you want to look at stocks that are less than $20, then I would put 20 here in the price less than box, and that will auto-magically filter my list of stocks down to only those that are less than $20 per share. And then let's say I want to narrow it down even further, and maybe I don't have any communication services stocks in my portfolio, and so I want to diversify my portfolio. So I want to look for one in that sector. I can click that filter and I will only see the communication services stocks. Right now, you can click on any one of these stocks and you'll be taken to the details page. You'll have a chart here. If you actually tap the chart or click the chart, it will show you the week. Very interesting week chart, by the way. I was one of the lucky ones that had some long calls back here. I did not expect it to go to the moon, and I somehow magically just sold it very near the top. So that was my one claim to fame back in beginning of 2021. And right here we have an add to watch list button. So if you want to add this particular stock to your watch list, maybe you're interested in it, you're thinking about placing an Aurus trade on this stock, you can click add to watch list and you'll have your own personalized watch list over here on the My Watch List tab. I'll go over this My Watch List tab a little bit more in just a second. So this first section we have here is valuation. We show the current price, and then we have some fair value estimates, analyst targets. Fair value estimate is just a guesstimate, so do your own due diligence. You shouldn't wholly rely on that. It is just a best guess based on some metrics, and the uncertainty, generally you'll have low, medium, high, very high, Low and medium are for stocks, usually stocks with somewhat stable earnings and revenues will have a low or medium. Those with kind of very volatile earnings or uncertain earnings and revenues might have a high or very high, or maybe the company still hasn't, produced a profit yet. So you have your upside. So you can see quite a bit of upside if this is indeed the fair value. The return on invested capital over the last 5 years, the average, and then you have estimate of next year's revenue growth, so you can just kind of see how fast this company might be growing over the next year. And a little chart that shows you the fair value an analyst target compared to the current price. And then down here, this is kind of my favorite part. So this is Oris Stats. So this will help you kind of quickly see, as you're browsing through different stocks, what type of rent you can collect. Now, you know that we like to talk about the extrinsic or time value that you collect from selling that short-dated call as rent. So I'm calling it rent here. So this is your at-the-money rent. So if you sell the at-the-money call, 30 DTE, this is, potentially how much. This is a guesstimate. Again, these are estimated of what you might be able to collect. This tries to take into account some historical volatility numbers to come up with that, but it could be wrong. So what you can do is, if you know the actual true volatility, let's say it's really, 40%, and you want to look at a 25-day or something, right? You can add your own custom numbers here. Otherwise, it will use these defaults. And then let's say you have a larger account and you want to see what your rent would be if you had 5 of these Oris positions on, right? So that would multiply everything by 5, also multiplies the cost of your leap by 5. And we can toggle that on and off, okay? Now, you can see here the leaps cost. We're doing a low and a high leaps cost estimate. And that's why you have this range of returns depending on how much you could buy that leap. It's a little bit hard to estimate what the cost of your 12-month leaps deep in the money, 85 delta leap would cost, but try and do a good job here of capturing it within this range. And some of it has to do with, a lot of it has to do with how volatile the stock is. And then we also provide a estimated, this is a typo, I'll have to fix this. This should say rent here. So rent and return when the stock is 10% or 20%. This one up here is 10% out of the money or in the money. This is 20% out of the money or in the money. So if the stock has gone above your strike by 10% and you want to still sell that same strike, which is now in the money, you're going to receive less time value, which is the rent we collect. And this is an estimate of how much time value you can collect and the percentage of your costs, right? So even when the stock is up or down 10% above or below your strike price, you still could collect 4 to 5% rent per month, which is still pretty good. As mentioned, these are 20% numbers, 20% in the money, out of the money numbers. And then just for comparison's sake, or if you're interested in doing a cover call, this will show you the cost of 100 shares. And if you sold this at the money call, what percentage return you'd be getting. Here it's a 5.8% return. And then finally down here, we've got some other stats that might find useful. Altman Z, Petrosky score, we won't go over those. We recently had a discussion in the Discord about that and what those are. You can Google them as well. Some helpful kind of really quick back of the envelope numbers that can help you know the quality of a company. Here we'll show you, kind of the PE ratio, some other basically price to earnings ratio, free cash flow as well. So you can kind of the yield you're getting if you want to compare it to a bond. This one's pretty generous, 11% yields on this stock when 10-year treasury is about 4%. And then you can also see down here, debt to capital. This company has quite a bit of debt. It's books. That's quite a high number. So something to be cognizant of and make sure the company can cover their debt. I'll also tell you when the next earnings is going to be. And this buyback percent. So a positive number is good, negative is bad. Negative means you're being diluted over the last 12 months. And down here shows you some free cash flow metrics. We won't get into the definitions of levered, unlevered free cash flow. And then more company info and a nice description. Now, one thing that I really like is we've got some links here. So if you want to essentially open this ticker in various other financial apps like FinViz, Seeking Alpha, you click this button, and if you have the app on your phone and you're doing it from your phone, it will actually open that Seeking Alpha app. And then you can read articles about this particular ticker. So it's a really quick way to do research, right? So this will help you do research. Also, if you like watching YouTube videos that people created about that particular stock, click that button. It will pull up your YouTube app and it will show you videos where a particular stock. Same with Twitter. If you want to see what people are saying on Twitter about that ticker, click. And if you have Robinhood, and if you trade from Robinhood, I don't personally trade much from Robinhood, but if you do, on your phone, you click that button, it should open the app and this ticker, the details page in Robinhood, and actually just transact from right. And this Thinkorswim thing doesn't quite work. We'll probably remove that. I was hoping it could open the app, but no, it just will open the mobile web version of Thinkorswim. So it may not be very useful. So the weekly stocks tab is showing, let me clear the filters here. You can quickly clear the filters by clicking the clear filter button. Now the filters do carry over from tab to tab because sometimes you're wanting to look at the same thing. So just make sure you clear your filters if you want them off. You can search for individual names in these search boxes as well. Here's the ETF page. We don't have quite as many filters for the ETF yet. I might add a couple, but they're separated into different categories, so you can quickly scan through different ETFs. Now, going back to my watch list, so this will separate it out into different sectors and ETF type. So you can kind of see I've added a few to my watch list, and this will give you a nice little chart here to help you know if you're diversified. Right? Obviously here I'm not very diversified. If these were the stocks in my portfolio, because I'm only in kind of 3 different categories here, whereas there are 11 sectors in the economy. Now, one other thing I want to show you, if you go up here to your profile picture, or if you don't have a picture, probably just have your initials, click view profile. You can change your name on the account. You can add a profile picture, a link to the watch list here. And then here we have a little widget where you can enter your portfolio size. For example, if I had a $50,000 portfolio, it would tell me, okay, your investable dollars, if you're following the ORS rules, is 25,000. You should keep 25,000 in cash on hand at almost all times. And then the maximum amount you can spend on any one ORS position in stocks is 2,500. If it's a ETF, like a sector industry ETF, then since you have some diversification benefit, you could go a little bit higher. And then if you are doing this on a broad index ETF, you could have a single position be a bit more, a larger percentage of your portfolio. But individual stocks we like to keep at 10% of the investable cash, right? In case it goes down 30% in a day, your portfolio won't be destroyed, right? So you put in, what your portfolio size is there. It's just a nice little tool to help you figure that out. So that is about it. Those are the main features of the app right now. We're constantly adding some new things. If you have a feature request, some idea of what you would like the app to do, feel free to let us know. And I will talk to you later.